Whose marriage imploded in just 2 weeks after the groom cheated at the bachelor party? Some matches are made in heaven, and some are made in the other place. In what is probably one of the shortest marriages ever, Britney Spears was married for a teensy 55 hours. The toxic hitmaker was 22 when she tied the knot with her old friend and then beau, Jason Alexander, whom she had known since her childhood.
Her mom used to own a kindergarten, preschool, and I went to school with her there.
After a few days of dating in 2003, the duo rang in the new year together in Las Vegas, per MTV. Spears and Alexander were apparently in their hotel room at the Palms Casino watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre late one night when, as typically happens in Sin City, the urge to do something kicked in, so according to Entertainment Weekly, they decided to get married. The nuptials were hastily put together, with Spears reportedly turning up in a baseball cap and being walked down the aisle by the hotel bellman. As soon as the morning after, they regretted their decision and an annulment was in order. Spears later described her 2004 wedding, her first, as her, quote, being silly, being rebellious. But Alexander, on the other hand, told ABC News it was Spears' idea. He added, "I was in love with her. I feel like she felt the same way." Nicolas Cage has many film credits to his name, but also many marriages. The Oscar-winning actor has tied the knot 5 times, his shortest union being with makeup artist Erika Koike. As most impulsive weddings go, it happened in Las Vegas in March 2019, with Cage filing for an annulment just 4 days later per The Guardian. TMZ reported that Cage and Koike were spotted spatting before and after saying their I do's. The circumstances of Cage and Koike's split were anything but amiable. For starters, per court documents, the ghostwriter star admitted that both parties were drinking before the ceremony and that Cage reacted on impulse per the blast.
Marry me tonight.
No!
No, why not?
There were also allegations that Koike had a criminal history and concealed her involvement with someone other than Cage. He told the New York Times, "I have to be careful about what I can divulge. There was a recent breakup. I don't really want to talk about it." For Baywatch beauty Pamela Anderson, wedding bells have chimed several times over, 6 to be precise. Out of all of Anderson's infamous romantic affairs, her shortest endeavor was with film producer John Peters, to whom she was married for only 12 days in 2020.
The marriage part is difficult, but I love the weddings.
But the duo's love story preceded their marriage by many years, dating back to the 1980s. The two linked up, sharing a relationship that reportedly lasted through Anderson's abusive marriage to Tommy Lee, during which Peters claimed to have supported her. 3 decades later, Anderson and Peters rekindled their romance and tied the knot in a low-key ceremony in January 2020. Peters told The Hollywood Reporter, "For 35 years, I've only wanted Pamela." But the marriage was over before it started. Less than 2 weeks later, Anderson split from her husband, claiming that the two were never legally married. Peters later alleged that he paid off almost $200,000 in debts for Anderson, after which their marriage went kaput, as reported by Page 6. For showbiz heavyweights Eddie Murphy and Tracey Edmonds, marital bliss was only a 2-week affair, but they saved themselves loads of hassle by becoming Mr. and Mrs. only symbolically, not legally, in a fairy tale event on a private island in Bora Bora, complete with a romantic tropical sunset. Murphy and Edmonds brought in 2008 by tying the knot on January 1st. According to People, it was a close-knit affair with only 25 people in attendance. Murphy and Edmonds, both of whom were previously married, also marked their children's presence at the celebration by exchanging beads engraved with their names. In a shocker statement just 2 weeks after Murphy and Edmonds' dreamy wedding, the couple announced they were splitting. Per Reuters, the pair jointly explained, "While the recent symbolic union in Bora Bora was representative of our deep love, friendship, and respect that we have for one another on a spiritual level, we have decided to remain friends." Mario Lopez and Ali Landry's marriage and breakup was a messy affair, echoes of which continue to resound decades after the events transpired in 2004. The Saved by the Bell actor and Landry, famous as the 1998 Doritos Girl, tied the knot at a posh Mexico resort in April 2004. The duo had reportedly been an item for 6 years before saying I do. 2 weeks into the marriage, the union was called off and an annulment was ordered. It appeared the marriage was doomed to fail from the get-go, with accusations of infidelity surrounding Lopez. A source told People he's cheated on her for several years, and she just found out last week. In 2011, Lopez appeared on radio jockey Howard Stern's show and pinned down his fateful split to his bachelor party weekend. Landry apparently wasn't told about Lopez's elaborate pre-wedding travels, during which he confessed to hooking up with another woman. He said, "I was wrong for obviously lying, and I shouldn't have been in that position." Given that she has lived much of her life in the spotlight, Drew Barrymore's fleeting first tryst with Matrimony in 1994 was bound to receive ample tabloid attention. According to People, Barrymore, then 19, had been dating 31-year-old Jeremy Thomas for about 6 weeks when she felt it was time to solemnize their relationship.
So we thought about it and we just talked about it and we just said, let's do it.
The ceremony was officiated by a clairvoyant come private detective at The Room, a Los Angeles bar owned by Thomas, with a few friends in attendance. The Los Angeles Times noted that the duo hadn't lived together before tying the knot. A thrilled and married Barrymore said at the time, "We're going to disappear inside a romantic little bungalow." The union, which left many in the film industry shocked, wasn't destined to last long. Merely 19 days into being husband and wife, Thomas and Barrymore's marriage ended. Per the Tampa Bay Times, Barrymore soon filed for divorce and asked for her maiden name to be restored. In an interview given decades later to Radar Online, Thomas looked back on his brief marriage to Barrymore, revealing the two got to know each other when the ET star began frequenting his bar. He added, "I didn't marry her because she was Drew Barrymore. I married her because she was cute." Being reality television royalty isn't as easy as it looks. It cost Kim Kardashian an elaborate wedding, a short-lived marriage, and a highly publicized divorce. The socialite's love saga with NBA player Kris Humphries began in 2010 and was televised in all its glory for the 6th season of her family show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Humphries' assimilation into the K clan, which included taking a trip to the Bora Bora Islands and popping the question to his ladylove, was well documented on the show. Kardashian and Humphries' whirlwind romance culminated in an opulent fairy tale wedding in October 2011, with 2 KUWTK episodes dedicated to the event. 72 days in, TMZ reported that Kardashian filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Humphries, meanwhile, pushed for an annulment, with a source telling People, "He never wanted to be married more than once, and he feels like she cheated him out of the chance to have a real, loving marriage." He further alleged that the wedding took place to rake in television ratings. Their wedding special on E! Sure Enough set a 10.5 million viewer record per deadline. A decade after the breakup, Kardashian admitted that she wasn't ready to wed Humphries, but went ahead and tied the knot because it had already been shot for television, per Insider. She added that she owed Humphries an apology and had even tried to follow up with him, but never heard back. Bradley Cooper keeps his private life out of the public eye as much as he can. The Hollywood dreamboat's romantic affairs, however, became common knowledge in 2007 when he split from his wife of 4 months, Jennifer Esposito. News of the two linking up first surfaced in 2006 when they began gracing red carpets together. Though they tried to keep their relationship under wraps, it inevitably came out in the open with their engagement and wedding that same year, according to People. Per Access, it was Esposito who filed for divorce from Cooper, though the split was reportedly mutual. Cooper later explained on Howard Stern's radio show, "It was just something that happened. The good thing is, we both realized it." Renée Zellweger and Kenny Chesney's love story was one for the books. Unfortunately, it was a short book. The celebrity pair reportedly met at a concert in 2005, but the foundation for their eventual romance was set years in advance. According to Entertainment Weekly, Chesney had been a fan of the Oscar-winning actor, whose highly quoted line from Jerry Maguire was the inspiration behind his 1999 song,
"You had me at hello."
Chesney and Zellweger's whirlwind love affair culminated in a Caribbean beachside wedding after 4 months of dating. Come September, Zellweger filed for an annulment, dissolving her first marriage. While the Bridget Jones star said the pair had decided to keep the details of their split private, Chesney told People, "I'm sad, I'm angry, and I'm hurt and confused." Court documents reportedly cited fraud as the reason for the annulment, with Zellweger saying in a statement that the legalese didn't reflect her ex-husband's character. After her statement, rumor mill suggested then that Chesney was gay, a claim the country singer denied. One Tree Hill alum Sophia Bush and Chad Michael Murray weren't just on-screen flames. The co-stars were also briefly married for real back in 2005. People reported that Bush and Murray, who played fan-favorite characters Brooke and Lucas, fell in love after meeting on the set of their long-running show. They began dating in 2003, and a year later, Murray popped the question. But their fairy tale romance was destined to be short-lived, with the couple splitting up 5 months into the marriage. At the time, both actors described the event as being difficult, with Bush adding in a statement that she was glad the issue was being resolved. The celebrity breakup was surrounded by immense speculation. While there were rumors of Murray linking up with his House of Wax co-star Paris Hilton, eyebrows were raised when Bush revealed in an interview with Andy Cohen that the marriage wasn't something she really wanted. In an essay for Cosmopolitan, she recalled the trauma of the publicity her relationship with Murray received, writing, "I refuse to let that one relationship define me."